Vlak voor deze uitzending sprak ik met Nigel Farage, de leider van UKIP. De man die jarenlang vanuit het Europees Parlement pleitte voor uittreding van Groot-Brittannië uit de EU. En ik vroeg hem of hij Jean-Claude Juncker begreep toen hij vanmorgen zei dat Farage eigenlijk niet meer in het Europese Parlement thuis hoorde na zijn Brexit-overwinning.
Well, look, we won the referendum. 17.5 million people voted for us to leave the European Union, so you could say that we won the war. But we now have to win the peace. We now have to disengage properly and sensibly to ensure a good deal, not just for the UK, but for the rest of Europe too. And I will continue to engage as the leader of the biggest UK group of European parliamentarians. I'll continue to take part in that debate until we're out of there successfully.
You are indeed the winner of this referendum, but your country isn't in the winning mood economically. Do you feel responsible for the situation Great Britain is in after the Brexit vote?
Do you know, this is the most enormous media myth that has been put around about the UK economy. We're told terrible things have happened since Brexit. Well, let's have a look at what's happened. Today, the London Stock Exchange rallied 3%. That was after last week it was down 2.7% on the week, and it's now 12% higher than it was back in February. And as far as sterling's concerned, yes, sterling's weak, but sterling has been declining since July 2014. And you know, last night, the Prime Ministers of Australia and New Zealand entered into a bidding war for who can become the first to sign a free trade deal with an independent United Kingdom. It seems to me that a week in, that's all pretty good news.
But Mr. Farage, you can't deny that banks lost billions of euros in the last couple of days.
Banks lost billions of pounds because they bet the wrong way. They backed the Chancellor, they backed the Governor of the Bank of England, they backed the government, they backed a Remain vote, and they got it wrong.
Shouldn't the Brexit camp have had a better plan for what to do after a Brexit?
Well, the plan is actually quite simple. The plan is to renegotiate a trade relationship with the European Union, to exit ourselves from political union, and at the same time to start negotiating global trade deals. That's always been the plan. Now, the one slight sticking block is that the government haven't yet invoked Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty so that we can enter into that formal process. And I hope, remember I'm not part of the government, I hope that the government gets its negotiating team together relatively soon and we can crack on with that business.
You have finally achieved your long-standing goal to leave the EU. Is your job done now?
We've won the vote and that's good. What we now have to make sure is the British government carries out the will of 17.5 million people and that there is no backsliding. So I'm going to be there, UKIP is going to be there, saying to the government, if there's any backsliding, we will wreak a terrible toll on you at the next general election. So I want to make sure that this victory translates into us becoming an independent, normal country. And normal countries make their own laws, have their own courts, control their own borders. That's what I want for my country.
But can you understand that a lot of British people are confused and uncertain about their future? Aren't you afraid that they will regret their leave vote?
No, I'm not. How can you regret voting for freedom? How can you regret voting for liberty? How can you regret voting for democracy, for taking back control of your own life? How can you regret leaving a failing European Union? And I would hazard a guess that if there was a referendum next week in your country on staying or leaving in the European Union, well, nobody could say with confidence that the voters in the Netherlands would vote to remain.
Nigel Farage, thank you very much for being on our program. Thank you.
Thank you.